Good morning and welcome to the 2017 Breakfast Briefing Series launch. Great to see so many of you here. I believe we have a full house. I saw some people out the back sitting on the spare seats, so thank you for making it out, and thankfully the weather was a little nicer than yesterday. So 2017 Breakfast Briefing Series, as I said, we're relaunching it this morning with a new curriculum, and it's now going to happen on the first Friday of every month. It is 3 years since Sarah, who I saw up the very back there, myself and a couple of other people, launched the Breakfast Briefing Series. And since then, we've had 11,000 of you through the doors to be educated on all things digital. And that makes us exceptionally proud, and it has certainly raised the bar within Ireland from a digital standpoint, which is fantastic, which is exactly what we should be, being here in the Silicon Valley of Europe. So, what's different about the curriculum this year? So in addition, every year we take on your feedback and we keep asking you for feedback, so thank you for giving it to us as to what you would like to see in the curriculum. But this year we think there's two other things we want to bring to you, and that is future trends that we think will impact or potentially could impact your business, so you might need to set yourself up for success on that front, so we want to bring them to you early. And next up is the whole concept of internationalization. Now, against the political landscape that there is with Brexit and everything else, some of you might be looking to internationalize your business. We're very keen to help you set yourself up and your businesses up for success to trade outside these Irish borders. Okay? So thank you, but this morning is all about the Irish consumer. And Karl is very kindly going to take us through the Irish consumer. But what about the Irish consumer? So we are very mobile, no surprise, but we are actually more mobile than most other European countries, so that's interesting. We adore video. We adore video. We are the single biggest users of YouTube in all of Europe. And we're really impatient, believe it or not. We're really, really impetuous and impatient. And the main reason why we use online is for convenience. And we want things very fast and very quick. And as you can appreciate, if we want things very fast and very quick, that means that you have to have a really fast and really quick online presence. Otherwise, we tab somewhere else. And that's not what we want. So our whole aim of these briefings is to give you tools, to give you actions, and to give you resources and help you create a network to set yourself up for success. And we hope that you achieve that. So please take time to network with each other after this in the breaks. And also very keen, if any of you have had any stories or any successes out of the Breakfast Briefing Series, do let myself or one of the team know. Okay? I hope you like the slight revamp we've had outside. I don't know if any of you noticed if you've been here before. Do play with infinite trivia down the back. That's all sourced from real-time search trends and trends from Knowledge Graph. You want to have a little bit of fun towards the end. But with that, I'm going to hand over to Karl, who's going to take you. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you next month.
Thanks. Morning. Everybody hear me okay? I've never had one of these on before. I feel like I should be hosting the Eurovision, but we'll crack on. So just so I get an idea of who we have in the room, how many have been to a breakfast briefing before? How many of us have been here before? Okay, quite a few. How many of us are brand owners or business owners? Okay, about half the room. And how many of us are working in an agency, a media agency, creative agency, or... Okay, so we have a good split of people in the room. Okay, so hopefully what I'm going to go through today is going to be relevant for all demographics in the room and everybody in the room, whether you're a brand owner, business owner, working for a business or working in the media of some sorts. My name is Karl Lumsden. I'm an agency manager. I've been in Google for about 6 years now. I've been working a lot with, I suppose, across the UK and Ireland for the last number of years with some of the larger agencies to try and, I suppose, give guidance on how to develop a marketing plan across multimedia. I've also been working with some large brands directly to try and I suppose, showcase some of the offerings and the benefits of investing online with us as well. So today is all about the Irish consumer, as Sarah has said, and she's kind of teed up a couple of things I want to talk today about. But the couple of, I suppose, the real key points that we want to go through, I'll start off, if I can, with mobile. There is a prize for this, a flashy notepad. Can anyone tell me how many times, as Irish consumers, do we check our phone on a given day? 150, I'm hearing 6 is very pessimistic. I'm going to be honest, I think it's a bit more than that. Okay, 150, a bit more. A little bit lower. A little bit lower. Lower. 165 is close enough. 160 times a day. Can you pass that back to that gentleman there? Thank you. 160 times in a day. That's a huge amount of times that as consumers we're engaging with that little small device. And I'll go into some more detail about how we as consumers and more importantly how we as brand owners and agencies, how we can engage with users at that time. YouTube. Sarah has mentioned that we are extremely passionate about YouTube in this country. For such a small country, we have a vast consumption of video online. What percentage of this demographic would choose YouTube over these TV stations? A little bit lower than 80. A little bit lower. 62%. I heard a lady's voice over here. I'm going to ask you if you can pass that. You're my go-to guy. Thank you. So 62%. So 6 out of 10 of 16 to 34-year-olds in this country couldn't give up YouTube before they'd give up those TV channels. That tells us that we have to be engaging. If our target audience falls within that demographic and that age range, we have to be reaching that consumer on that space. A third of us have bought something online last year. That's a huge portion of this room. If you look to the person to the left, to the right, between the three of you, one of you have bought something online last year. So between mobile, between video, and between shopping online, Irish consumers have grown a lot in the last few years. And we need to try and take advantage of that opportunity. We need to try and get our brand present on mobile when they're looking for us. We need to try and engage with that community, that audience on video when we have the opportunity to do so. And we need to showcase our products and make them as easily accessible, as easy to buy as we possibly can. So let's go through each one of these if we can in a little bit of detail. So capture the mobile moment. So what's the mobile moment? When is the right mobile moment? If you're like me, it's probably as soon as you wake up in the morning. Or if you're even more like me, if you're checking your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, you might be getting a boot from your partner beside you. We have to try and find the right time. But the right time is really all day, every day. You only have to look at yourselves. I can look around the room here now and see people on their phone, whatever they're doing, tweeting, researching, taking pictures of me, whatever it might be. But phones have become an integral part of our life. If we don't acknowledge that and develop that into our business plan, we're going to miss out on an opportunity. So a couple of things that I want to go through for mobile. So what is a great mobile experience? How can we capture that audience? If we acknowledge that mobile is a big opportunity for us, how can we engage and develop that as a part of our marketing strategy? I'm going to go through speed and content today. I'm going to leave intuitive design and functionality just given the time we have. But speed is really the important one, so we'll go through that first. 40% abandon a site if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So you can have the best marketing strategy in the world and get thousands and millions of people to your website. If it has taken longer than 3 seconds to load, you've lost 4 out of every 10 people that you've put the effort in to get to your website. 47%, almost half of us, expect it to load in under 2 seconds. And more than 50% of people say that page load speed time is a factor in brand loyalty. So if we're not performing on mobile, they may buy from us once, but they're not going to come back. They're going to look to other competitors. They may sign up to our service, but if it's too slow and they can't get what they want quick enough, they're not going to stay with our brand. This statistic, some of you may have seen this already, but it still blows my mind. So this came out last year in an independent study for Amazon. Amazon reduces latency by 100 milliseconds. That increases their global revenue by 1%. Why is that relevant for you guys? Amazon's a massive company. Think about how hard it might be for them to enhance their website. All the products that they have, all the imagery that they have, all the filters that they have for different types of products and services that they now offer. Think about how difficult it must be for a company that size to reduce latency on their website. But they see the value in it because it generates revenue on the other side. Consumers are happier, they'll come back to Amazon and they'll continue to buy. That gives you guys an edge up. As smaller and medium-sized businesses compared to Amazon, you guys have a huge opportunity at the start, at the beginning, to update the website, get the website mobile ready before we get on to the next stage. Saying that, though, still mobile sites are falling short. So 35% of us won't buy on our phone because checking out is too difficult. Too many steps, too slow. I can't see the image correctly. I can't see the details of the product. 35%, huge numbers again. 26% have a higher bounce rate on a mobile website versus the desktop. So again, 1 in 4. We're doing all the work to get people to come to our websites. When they get there, mobile users, 1 in 4 of them are leaving. And the average, this stat kind of alarms me, 24 steps to check out on a typical mobile site. So think of the amount of times that you guys, as Irish consumers, we might be on the dart, you're looking at something, you see it, you might like it. All the times that you're doing browsing for products, services, whatever it may be, 24 steps before you can actually buy it. That's a huge opportunity for us to be better, to be more facilitative to the Irish consumer, give them what they want quicker and easier. So the first thing I would ask everyone in the room, and some of you may have seen this before if you've been here before, scribble that URL down on your notepad in your desktop now. testmysite.withgoogle.com. That's a free tool, and essentially it will take your website and in seconds it will spit out to you how mobile friendly we are. Does the images, are they the right size and things like that? How quick is the mobile site speed versus the desktop speed? And there's a whole load of steps then that it'll detail after that, as well as how we can improve it. You know, do we need to adjust image sizes, whatever it may be. So take the time, I'd say, it literally takes a couple of seconds after this perhaps, have a look through it and see what you can find for your website. It's a very, very useful tool. Content, hugely important. Hugely important, not even just for mobile, but for every part of online. The right content, the right message is so important to what we're trying to do. If we want to engage the user, if we haven't got the right content and engage a consumer and encourage a sign up, encourage them to buy our products, if we haven't got the right content, they're not going to be interested. So we have to be making sure that the content we have and that we develop onto our site is what they need, and more importantly, what they need at the right time. I suppose the first and most important point is, as well, for content, is we can't force our agenda upon consumers. It'll only bear frustration. Let them discover your products. If they've gotten to your website, they've already shown an interest in what you're offering. We have to let them then discover what part of the business of yours they want to engage with. What product do they want to buy? What service do they want to sign up for? What consultation, whatever it may be. Remove registration gates. I know you guys are hungry to get, email information or information about your audience who's come to the website. We'll get that at a later stage. But I know personally, if I go to a website and I'm getting a pop-up and it's asking for information, before I've even considered buying something, I'm going elsewhere. Don't make it a mandatory sign-in to check out. At the end of the day, for you guys as business owners, and for you, those of you that are working in media agencies, a sale is a sale is a sale, or a sign-up, or whatever it may be. We're losing revenue for the business if we're, again, forcing an agenda on them that we have to have you signed in, you have to tell us who you are. If they want to buy from us, or if they want to sign up from us, let's let them do it. For those of you, which was quite a few when Sarah asked the question, who've been here before, this is nothing new, adding a phone number to your website. It's hand in hand with engaging a consumer. Every one of us at some point, probably in the last few weeks, few months, have been trying to buy something online, it's not working, and all you want to do is talk to someone to help you get it. If your business, or the business that you're working for, has the manpower to have someone on the phone, has someone trained to take queries, if you have salespeople, what better way to connect someone than on the phone? If they want to buy something, they've given intent, put them in touch with your salespeople and let them do the selling for you. Add that call, that number onto your website, if we can. Make it easy to, I suppose, not have to buy right then and there. Allow users to save information from your website. Share it onto various different social media if they want. Add it to the bag. A lot of us will do a lot of browsing. Again, you might be commuting or wherever it might be. You might be sitting out with pals. You might see something you like. Save it into the bag, and you'll feel more comfortable perhaps going home and buying it on desktop. Allow users to do that. Again, if someone has shown intent now, but perhaps might not even have the ability to buy right now, let's let them buy it later on. Let's encourage them to buy it later on. Save it to the bag. So for mobile, really, mobile speed is the message I want to land today. Content and mobile speed go hand in hand, but without the right speed, your users won't even get a chance to view the content. If the website takes too long, and we've invested hugely into content, they're not even going to get a chance to see what you guys have put together for them and the investment you've made into that website. The second point, which Sarah had mentioned, was video. The highest consumers of video in Europe. So, I mean, that's telling in itself for such a small community, such a small island. We're very forward, I think, in what we demand of business owners. We look for innovative ads, we look for exciting ads, we look for exciting content, and I think we're probably one step ahead of the curve in that capacity. YouTube is part of Irish culture. So, first of all, can anyone tell me who that is on the left? Ed Sheeran. How many subscribers do we think Ed Sheeran has? There's no prize for this. 13 million, not far off. Ed Sheeran has 10 million subscribers. Beyonce, higher or lower? 90. 11. Adele, higher or lower? 13 million. I haven't got a prize on me, but if anyone can tell me the next person that I show up, I'll go and buy you something in the store afterwards. Can anyone tell me who the next person is for highest subscribers? I'm hearing Obama, Taylor, Trump. I don't know. The next highest subscriber is this guy who lives in Athlone. He is an Irish gamer, and he has 14 million subscribers. So I wasn't familiar with him. I'm not sure if anyone here was, but I can promise you that if you have kids, they know who this guy is. His name is Jacksepticeye, if you want to check that out yourselves afterwards. Strange name, but again, those of you with kids will know, or they will know who this guy is. So that tells us 14 million subscribers, more than Beyonce, who broke the internet the other day when she announced her twins. This guy has more subscribers on YouTube than Beyonce. YouTube is part of Irish culture. Online video is part of what we do, and it's what we're looking for. On any given day, YouTube can reach about 80% of online consumers in Ireland. 80%. If I could tell you that you could get your brand on an X Factor Prime slot on a Saturday night, you'd probably bite my hand off for it. That's what YouTube can do for us in a cost-efficient way. Of that demographic, again, that I mentioned beforehand, 72% say that YouTube is one of the main places they go to explore things that they're passionate about. If you like cars, you might subscribe to Top Gear. You go and watch videos on whatever footage they have on the new Bugatti or something like that. If you like football, you might subscribe to Sky Sports, and so on and so forth. It's a place of discovery. It's a place of engagement, and it's a place of community, conversations, likes of videos, sharing of videos, a real conversation happening online. You have the opportunity to be there when that search is happening, when that interest is sparked, when we're looking for more content, when we're looking for more new features about something that I'm passionate about. A new iPhone. Have your ad at the top of the page. Your brand accessible to your consumer in a cost-efficient way. How is it cost-efficient? You're only going to pay if they choose to watch your ad. First 5 seconds is entirely free. Nobody pays for that in the world. That's 5 seconds of free branding that I don't know you'll get in any other media. 5 seconds of, this is my story, this is who we are, here's my brand logo, this is where we're located. That's free. If they choose to watch and your content is good enough and they choose to watch, then there's a value add. We know they're engaged in your service. We know that they want your products. We know that they want to know more about your brand. Engagement is one thing. How can we turn that into action? How can we turn that into sales? How can we turn that into an ROI for the business? There's 3 real key ways. The first of which, we can drive people to the website. They watch the video, they click on the video, go straight to the website. Your job's done. You've got them to the website. You've got them to your perfectly mobile, optimized, content, perfect website. For those of you who have apps or part of the business is an app or you're thinking of developing an app, same story. We can show the video, have the app below it, give the user an opportunity to click on that app, download it, or click on the image, and download the app straight away. So straight away you're connecting an interest with engagement to a return on your investment for the business. And finally, more recently in 2016, actually helping users to buy products when they're watching video. So some of you may have seen this already where, let's say you're watching a video of the latest Nike boots, up pops a little image, you can click on the Nike boots and go straight to the store and buy it. So we're connecting that hunger for more exciting ads, more innovative ads with the opportunity to actually go and do something about it. Yeah, I do like the look of those boots. I can buy them right now. We've invested a huge amount in the last year, again, to try and help you guys do that. There's a lot of good resources for you guys to help you develop that content. I keep talking about content. Content can cost a lot of money to invest into. There's a lot of free resources for you guys to do that. The first is, if you want to Google it afterwards, YouTube Director for Business app. It's a handy tool, you download it, you can shoot footage and then you can curate it. You can put in a background for music, you can edit and chop the video as you see fit. So within a matter of minutes, you could have content to be advertised on YouTube. Creative support for the top tier advertisers. We can engage with you and actually help you develop the creative. Give guidance on what's going to work, help you brand it better, help you tailor it to your audience better. For those of us, quite a portion of us mentioned about that we're working in media agencies. If you've bought TV before, it's very similar to YouTube. You pick your audience, what age they are, male, what are they interested in, how many times do you want to show them the ad. It's the very same for YouTube. So for those of us who have experienced TV buying before and aren't sure, can I do the same on video? They're very closely aligned. They're achieving the same thing. I would argue that YouTube is more cost efficient for the reasons I mentioned before. YouTube has a huge impact, or can have a huge impact on your audience. For those of us who have invested online before, be it on Google search, be it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever it might be, you can be relatively limited to what the message you can get across with a text ad or a static image ad. YouTube gives us an opportunity to tell more about a brand. Tell a story. Where did the brand come from? Or if we want to get straight down to business, what's the sale you're offering today? Excite the user, entertain the user, inspire them to go and sign up. YouTube gives us that opportunity to go beyond just a couple of lines of text or just one image. It gives us the opportunity to tell more about the brand or the product or service. So this next video, again, this lady here, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with Nikki Tutorials, but hugely popular makeup tutorial vlogger on YouTube. So again, if you're not familiar with her, I'm sure your children probably are. But I'll play this video and then I'll talk a little bit about why content is so important.
Hey guys, so today I'm doing another tutorial. I'm sort of doing my look of like my haute couture, like avant-garde version of the stars. Today we're using this palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we're also gonna use some rhinestones, as you could tell. These are the rhinestones I absolutely love. Yeah, I love you. That is what I'm gonna do today, and if you want to know how I did this, then please keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take a really nice dark brown eyeshadow, and what you're going to do is apply this to your lower lash line. Like that. Okay, now I'm gonna take a really nice light highlighting color, and you're gonna highlight the lid with this. Apply this to your eyelids. Okay, now you're just going to take the glue, apply it to your eyes like that, and you take your rhinestone, and you just...
Give you a jolt on a Friday morning. So I've shown that honestly 30 times now, and I still get kind of when I know what's coming. But the message there is, I mean, look, it's shocking, but every one of us right now is feeling something. Whether you're feeling shocked, scared, angry, or you want to hit me for showing it to you and giving you that fright, every one of us is feeling something, and that's the power of video over a lot of other media. It's emotive. It touches something within inside us. That's what video and that's what YouTube can do for your brand. This video had millions and millions of hits, got a lot of PR around it. Volkswagen had partnered with this lady because she had a reach to a demographic. She had an audience already. She engaged with that young female demographic. This video highlights, I think, that video gives us an opportunity and a different way to connect with an audience. I think it's a really powerful message that with the right message, you can evoke something in people. On the right content, and going back to content again for video, there's three real cores to developing good content, whether it's on YouTube or for any VOD site. Make it inspiring, entertaining, or educational. If it's not one of those three, or a combination, it's probably not going to be captivating to the user. So inspire someone to do something, go to the website, buy a product, sign up for a service, make a donation, whatever it might be. Educate them more on the brand, more on the service, more on the business. Educate them to what offers they can get. Or entertain. You see so many ads are shared, funny, scary, whatever it may be. Make it entertaining. If you look at Christmas Just Gone, John Lewis, everyone waits for the John Lewis ads. A lot of people would say that John Lewis missed the boat this year because they didn't connect on any of those three. Previously, we've seen John Lewis ads that, be tear-jerkers, the one with the man on the moon, emotional, connecting with the audience. This year, a lot of people would say that they missed those three key principles. So why YouTube? I think YouTube is a video-first platform. People come to YouTube to watch video. You come to look for your favorite sports brand. You come to look for your favorite gamer channel. You come to look for makeup tutorials. You come to look for unboxing videos of Black Friday presents that you're buying in a panic. You come and you choose to watch video. Versus other platforms, video is embedded, it's part of it. It's not what the platform was developed for, and it's less engaging. This next slide, I've left this in because I think it's important to call out as well. YouTube is 93% the most viewable video media in the market. What do I mean by that? I actually mean that's human eyeballs are seeing the content. So you might be alarmed to see that the industry average is about a third of content, video content, won't actually see the light of day, won't actually see human eyeballs. It might be down the bottom of a web page. People mightn't scroll down far enough to see it. YouTube has the single highest rate, not just in Ireland, that is globally, for users engaging because it's a video-first platform. What sort of results can we expect? And again, I'm thinking here along the lines of if you've bought TV before, if you considered TV before, where we've run YouTube campaigns with YouTube, alongside YouTube, 77% of the time there's a higher ROI for the business. So for the investment you make, if you're thinking of, if you've never done it before as a business, I want to do something in video. I've got to do something for video in 2017. I keep hearing this from everybody. We've got to do something in video. If we want to be as efficient with our budget as we can, YouTube is the way to go for that. We've seen how much reach it has. We've seen how important and how big a part it is of Irish culture today as well. What can we get from YouTube other than enticing sales, enticing signups, and whatever? But what other information can we get? I always kind of say that YouTube, I think, is almost like a market research tool as well. Because these 4 pieces here of information, you will get that information back about your brand for an investment into YouTube. So we can tell you after you've invested in YouTube, at the end of a campaign, what was the awareness for your brand? Did people know about your brand in the first place? Was there an uplift of 10%, 20% after they did? Ad recall. We can tell you if they've seen your ad in the first place. You've invested a lot of money to get onto YouTube. We can tell you how many people saw your ad and give you a breakdown of it was this demographic at this time of the day. Consideration. Which of these brands would you consider purchasing? So if you're, a lot of competitors, a lot of similar goods, services, we have to try and distinguish ourselves. Market research and information we get back from YouTube would be, how likely are they to buy your brand versus your competitors? And finally, which is probably one of the more important ones I would argue as well, if we invest in video, what's the overall uplift for people looking for your brand online? So you invest onto YouTube, you invest in video. How many people are then also going to search and looking for your brand for the first time? How many people are looking for your brand for after the first time? They're going back, brand loyalty. So we can also measure the search uplift, the online uplift, if you really want to call it that, in people trying to discover your brand. The last point I want to talk about then is shopping and shoppers. I mentioned at the start, 1 in 3 of us have bought something online. That's growing at an alarming rate. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I probably would have said 1 in 3 of us are researching online. And the actual purchasing online was probably about 10% or even less. Now about 33% of us bought something online last year, and that's growing at an exponential rate every year. Catching up to the UK, which is the most digitally advanced and digitally savvy market in the world, and catching up to the US as well. When are we buying online? When are we shopping online? When are we actually taking the plunge and putting our hand in our pocket online? Any part of the day. In shops, which I'll discuss in a moment, when you're browsing, when you're on the dart, when you're commuting, when you're with your friends, I'm not sure about if you're fixing the sink. Perhaps you're doing some research though into a part that you may need. But I mentioned shopping on the go, or shopping in shops, if you want to call it that, or researching in shops. Mobile searches in store are up 30% year on year. That's people who are in the shop, taking their phone out, and they're looking for the product online. What do you think the number 1 reason people are looking for things online is when they're in a shop? That's the 5th reason. Ease of delivery. So price is 5th. It's how quickly can I get that? I mightn't be able to carry it home. I'm in Curry's, I'm looking at X, Y, and Z. I'm not carrying home a blender today. I'll check it out online, I'll get it delivered. So convenience, that comes back to that piece of convenience. Speed. Irish consumers are asking more of us, and we have to facilitate that. These stats here actually now are stats from the United States, but I just wanted to give a snippet of where the global economy is going as well, just to give you guys a kind of an insight into where Ireland kind of fits into that and Irish consumers fit into that. So, 3 times in the past 5 years, foot traffic in retail stores has declined by 57% in the United States. that's gone online. You all would have seen that, the craziness around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Boxing Day or Stephen's Day, whatever it might be, all of that. 57% as a market in the United States decrease in footfall traffic. Twice as many searches in 2015, that's even gone up again in 2016, for people searching for things near me. Shop near me, goods and services near me, whatever it might be. And 26% mobile share of online purchases in 2016. In the UK, our closest neighbour, that's about 33-34%. So for those of us with brands that we may export to the UK, or for brands that we're managing that offer goods and services in the UK, more than a third of consumers will buy online on their mobile phones. Google Shopping launched last year in Ireland. Has anyone ran a Google Shopping campaign? A handful of hands, if even. Google Shopping is, the first thing I'd say is, it's only ever going to launch once in a market. You guys in the room now, for retailers, have the opportunity to be the first people with Google Shopping, ahead of the curve. If I could have said that same thing to the people in the UK that I'd speak with, again, they would have bitten my hand off right there and then. You guys have a unique opportunity that this is the first and the only time that Google Shopping will launch in Ireland. Such a simple way to get such an easy message across about the business. Just the information that I need. What does the product look like? How much does it cost? And where can I get it? In 2017, there's some new formats we've added in as well. Again, for resellers and things like that, we can add in information of where the product's going to be sold. But in general, shopping is short and punchy. The moment of search, someone is online looking for a specific product. Let's put our products in front of them when they're looking for it. How can we then re-engage with that customer? They've looked for us online. How can we then use that asset to our advantage? Online allows us to re-engage with users more than any other media, I would argue. Someone has shown intent, they haven't bought from us right now. Why haven't they bought from us right now? They got to the checkout page, but then they left. Let's show them an offer. Let's give them 10% off, get them back, because we're still making our profit margin on that customer, even at a 10% cut. Online allows us, and shopping allows us, to re-engage users, to get them back into the funnel, get them back into the fold, get them back into the business. This is a good example of, we've mentioned mobile, we've mentioned video, and we've mentioned shopping. This is a good example of a brand that brought all three of these together. Wayfair developed content for YouTube, had a mobile-first strategy on their video content, and they overlaid it with shopping ads for True View campaigns as well. And they saw a 3x in their revenue from that investment. So straight away, acknowledging their audience is on mobile, using video to tell more about the brand and the product and service, and then finally connecting all that with, here's how you buy it. Click on this image, and you can go and buy it and order today. I mentioned what does video and what does shopping and what does all this do on the overall uplift of a brand online. We're building an asset, right? I mentioned a moment ago, we can re-engage with those users. Show them a different ad, show them an offer, get them back encouraged with the ad. Get them back encouraged with the business, get them back encouraged with the service or the products that we're offering. So, to wrap up, the three key pillars of what I want you guys to try and take away with you today is, aside from shopping being a first kind of core opportunity for us as a first launch in the country, mobile first. You guys have been here before. You're probably blue in the face here in Google talking about mobile, but it's going to stay the same. Mobile site speed is critical. Users demand it, consumers demand it, and we have to invest in that part of the business. Engage our audiences on YouTube. They are on YouTube. Every demographic, every age, we saw 81% on a given day YouTube can reach across the Irish consumer base. Engage that audience. Talk to those consumers. Develop a community. Tell your brand story. And finally, for retailers, make it as easy as possible when someone has searched for your goods and services. Search is the zero moment. They are searching for a product or service right then and there. Make it as easily accessible for your business to be found and your business to be the one that wins. Thanks. If people want to fire a couple of questions, we've got about 5 minutes for Q&A if anyone has any questions. I'll ask you to just pass that back to that man there.
Good morning, thank you.
Hey.
In the whole presentation, you didn't once mention the word reviews or indeed reputation marketing and the impact that reviews are having, particularly for local business. Also, just in relation to local business, when one does a local search, how come in the three pack you sometimes see a result at the top that has no reviews at all, whereas one business that's getting a lot of reviews and currently doing a lot isn't getting in there?
Yeah, so the reviews question, so it's a good question. The reviews is only going to be one part of the overall quality score that's going to determine where something comes. A huge factor of quality score is the content, the website. So generally speaking, in the example you've given there, the website that's shown at the top that has had no reviews probably has developed a better website, a more responsive website, a more mobile-friendly website, because that will all feature into quality score as well. With the first point that you mentioned, sorry, just remind me what the first question was.
You hadn't mentioned reviews and the impact of and reputation marketing.
Yeah, like reviews are hugely important because that's direct feedback you're getting from your consumers as well. I would definitely encourage anybody advertising online with Google to have reviews, get review extensions into your campaigns as well. Hugely important. It's part, I suppose, of the overall online cadence, if you want to call it that, for search. So it's not that far from it that I'm saying it's not important. It's hugely important. But the three key pieces that I wanted to go through today was around those pieces. But you're absolutely right. Reviews are a hugely important piece, especially to local businesses. Any other questions? If you can, no, that way, yeah.
In regards site speed, I'm just wondering, is there anything that you can benchmark off in regards industry? And you know, in Google Analytics, you usually show trends.
Yep.
Is there any information on how your site speed has performed over a period of time as well?
Yeah, so have you used the Test My Site link?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so when you check that out, the numbers that'll give back to you, whether you're green, amber, or red, those are industry benchmarks. So if you plug your website in there and it comes back to us and says we're at 70%, that's taken an industry benchmark to give us a guidance that if we want to be a top performer, these are the things that we can do to be a market leader. So that's to answer the first question around, I suppose, the market benchmarks. The second piece for Google Analytics, again, I would encourage you to use that tool first and foremost because it's been developed specifically to address those questions. Google Analytics is fantastic for measuring, I suppose, the engagement with the website and things like that. The engagement is the secondary fact. The former is what does the actual website responsiveness look like and how is it actually assessed. That tool that I went through beforehand, that tool is really going to be the one that's going to give you the benchmark, but also the steps that we can take to improve that. Yeah? Any other questions up the back there? I think I saw this gentleman in the grey hoodie.
Can you hear me? Just a quick question.
Yeah.
I sell all of my products through Amazon, so all of the products actually sit in an Amazon warehouse, but I'd be interested in doing a campaign with the Google Shopping. Will Google Shopping will it integrate with my Amazon listing and send traffic through to my Amazon listing, or does it have to go to my own website? and then bring them through to the listing.
No, so if you have it, so you're basically reselling your goods on Amazon directly, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's absolutely fine. If you have, you can use that as a reseller, so that's, yes is the short answer, you can do that.
Cool. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Michelle from the Whole Food Revolution, and what I do, we have a subscription service, and it's to make healthy cooking from scratch easy. So I was just wondering, on the figures that you've got for YouTube, you've got our target market is a little older than what you've got there. Do the figures drop off then in terms of interest as you get older?
No, and it's a good question. We get this all the time. The second largest, now this is for the UK, but I think it's relatively similar for the Irish market as well. The second largest demographic on YouTube is actually 35 to 55-year-old women. That's the second largest demographic. So usually we get the question, is YouTube just a young person only platform? It's not. Really, the audience is at any different segment are touched at any given point. And that comes back to, as I mentioned, of overall online consumers in any given day, YouTube is going to reach about 8 out of every 10 of them. So it can't just be a youth population on YouTube. Sorry, I'm half blind. Over here, if we can probably do a couple of passes to get it that far, unless you have a good arm. We're accepting absolutely no liability for that.
On that side speed test,
Yeah.
for a couple of my clients, I've noticed the number one thing that always comes up is JavaScript. I can't remember the exact wording, JavaScript rendering, which seems to be a big issue for developers to try and get over it, but it's always a number one issue in the red as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. It does come up all the time. I think it's probably because JavaScript keeps evolving and keeps changing, and it's one of those ones. It's if we don't stay on top of it and stay on top of the Java updates, then very quickly the website backend can become outdated, if that makes sense. So what we're doing essentially is just taking a look at all the plugins that go into the different parts of the back end of a website. And where those updates aren't maintained and manned and refreshed, then they will consistently come up. JavaScript, because it's so popular and features so often, and because they push so many different updates, quite often that can be why JavaScript can reoccur.
Right, so you just have to keep updating.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like anything. It's like any part of the business that we're working with. You have to keep investing in it. It's not a case that we fix the mobile site and then that's it, good, and we never have to touch it again. We have to keep investing in it, keep curating the content, keep curating the back end to making sure that we're up to date and up to speed with all the updates.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, this lady over here in the black, we're going back across. Oh, you've got one here? Okay, go ahead.
Quick one, Shane Fitzgerald, and the flower business, and the process of having Valentine's Flowers.ie going on in a few days. But have we got a good plug there?
Good plug, yeah.
Is there anyone here from Google? Is there anyone here in Google that I could talk about the Google shopping campaign and YouTube and anyone here this morning, or anyone, or how would I, while I'm here, is there anyone I can meet, talk to?
Afterwards?
Yeah.
I can have a chat with you afterwards.
Thanks. That's
Yep.
good. Next.
We'll go down the front, and then there's a lady up in the black that will probably finish with that lady. Probably don't need the mic right in front of you, but go on. No, I'm joking. Go on.
I had exactly the same question as that chap up there about this. That keeps coming up with the JavaScript and the caching on websites. It's really irritating because you've done everything and you just have that red line appearing constantly. Yeah. And it cuts to 2 or 3, maybe drops 2 or 3%. You think I've put all that work in and it's going to drop down a little bit. There isn't a solution, there isn't a quick fix for that, is there? Sorry, that's just the question I was going to ask you was about SSL certs.
Okay.
And what impact they're having or they're going to have this year in the performance of websites, and should people be getting SSL certs for their websites? I know it's been recommended to me over and over the last few weeks. So
yes. I mean, in short, I would say yes. We're recommending that you have them for your websites. I'd say, again, we can probably talk a little bit more about that because it's a bit more of a technical one, but we can have a chat about that maybe afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah?
Fair enough.
And then we're going last question, if we can make it up to that lady in the black.
Hi, I have a kind of 3-part question around YouTube ads skipping.
Yes.
So first is, could you, off the top of your head, I know I'm probably spotlight here, any kind of stats around that? What percentage of ads skipped? And secondly, does the skipping part affect your ad cost the same as the Google search ads quality score with the impact cost per click? And the third one is it possible to not show the ad to users who have skipped it, let's say, more than once or twice?
Okay, so the first question, it was a benchmark kind of around how often ads are skipped. There's none. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there really is none. I'm not giving you a short answer because it's completely dependent on the content. So there's no real benchmark because every ad is unique and every ad is different. So unfortunately, I can't say it's X, Y, or Z. The second question was, just remind me, sorry, the second question?
Would be cost impacted if your ad is skipped more?
On quality score and things like that. The short answer there is no. So that's the feature. I mean, that's the product feature, is that we're allowing users to skip. We're allowing users to choose what content they engage with. So there's no impact if users keep on skipping your content or if they choose to watch it all. That's built into the product offering, if that makes sense.
And the third part is, can you configure it so it doesn't show to users more than once or twice if they skip it?
We can show it to, we can't specifically say if someone has skipped it not to show it to them again, but we can dictate to show it to a user a defined number of times. Okay. So if we can see that users are continuously skipping our ads, and you would get that information in the YouTube campaign, let's say 30% are skipping our ads on any given day. Okay, well then we need to reduce the ad frequency that we're serving. So move down from perhaps 5 per day to maybe 3 per day, and then that should reduce the ad skipping as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend.